we've got Eric Hale and Nandish here from Creatio, and they'll be delivering a case study on how Saskatchewan Blue Cross achieves full business process digitalization in 6 months. Okay, over to you both.
All right, thanks, Jen, and hello, everyone, and thank you for having us on the call today. For our session, we'll be discussing some current challenges associated with digital transformation and how our customer, Saskatchewan Blue Cross, was able to increase their employee productivity by 25%, leveraging low-code technologies. So as Jen had mentioned, my name is Eric Hale. I'm head of sales enablement at Creatio, and today I'm joined by my esteemed colleague, Nandish Madhapati, who is a senior solutions manager with Creatio.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Nice to be here.
Here we go. All right. So in terms of the agenda, we have a few slides on some trends and statistics that we'd like to share. Then we're going to give you some background on our customer, SBC, and their use cases, how they were able to overcome some challenges through low-code technology. And then Nandish will give you a very brief look at the tools that they utilized. And then we're going to leave some time for Q&A at the end of the session. So just a brief introduction to Creatio as a company. We are a global organization headquartered in Boston, Massachusetts, here in the US. But we do have 5 offices around the globe to help support the thousands of customers that have chosen Creatio as their low-code platform of choice. We also have a very robust partner network that helps to extend our reach into 110 countries. We've received, both from a company as well as a platform perspective, some very good feedback and recognition by lead analysts at Gartner and Forrester. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a bit. So to kick off our discussion, we start with a quote from McKinsey & Company, and I really couldn't agree more than with this quote. So the current crisis that we're all experiencing right now has really forced organizations to adapt to change very quickly. And it also has exposed a lot of broken processes that companies need to address and fix very rapidly in order just to survive. And from this slide, what we could see is that digital transformation isn't just an aspirational goal anymore, it's really a necessity. So pre-COVID times, most companies had a digital transformation roadmap, but as we can see from the statistics on the screen, projects on that roadmap have been accelerated by up to almost 5.5 years in some cases. And despite the pandemic, digital transformation spending is expected to increase by $1.3 billion, at least here in the US. So we see that spending continues, and we need to digitally transform in order just to survive. So we see this shift in mindset from pre-COVID time, where organizations were only spending about 28% of their IT budgets on innovation, and also where only 40% of companies brought digital initiatives to scale. To organizations now are having to scramble to try to find ways to digitize their operations. So this is not something that we traditionally can flip a switch and overnight become a digital organization. There are many challenges. Business demands are growing faster than IT can keep up with. So project backlogs are increasing. We see budgets being cut. And there's also a lack of skilled workers that can be hired, even if you have the capability to do so. So companies can manage these challenges in a couple of different ways. They need to be fast and agile. They need technology that's going to be able to scale with their changing business needs. And they also need to align and automate processes across their organization to ensure consistency. And the organizations that leverage innovative technologies are going to prevail. According to a recent Gartner study, organizations will lower their operational costs by 30% through automated technologies and redesigned operational processes by 2024. And a great example of this is our customer, Saskatchewan Blue Cross. So Saskatchewan Blue Cross is an independently owned member of the Blue Cross Blue Shield Network, international network, and they provide comprehensive healthcare coverage to the residents of Saskatchewan province in Canada. They've been in business for 74 years, and they're currently in the process of modernizing their core business processes across their organization. One key area of focus is to create holistic views of their member journey, from how do they market to new members all the way to the ongoing care and support of their existing members. So the challenges they were experiencing in trying to create better member journeys were siloed member data sources that weren't really fully integrated with each other. They did not have any standard workflows or processes that would connect the interactions and engagements that they were having with their members. They also had limited access to any real-time data that would help them make better data-driven decisions. And by data-driven decisions, they want to be able to forecast the needs of their member base more accurately. So Saskatchewan Blue Cross was looking for some innovative tools that would be easy to use, help them provide the necessary flexibility to be configured to their specific business needs. As they grow, they want solutions that will be able to scale and support their growth. And also, they want to be provided with data analytics that they need to accomplish the goals. They also needed the agility to get up and running very quickly. And as you can see here on the right-hand side of the slide, they had a very short project timeline. So Saskatchewan Blue Cross chose Creatio because of our low-code design capabilities, as well as our best-in-class CRM capabilities, and we'll talk a little bit about that later in the presentation. And this has really enabled them to eliminate many of their manual and time-consuming processes, and also improve the engagements with their new and existing members. As a result, they've been able to quickly improve conversion rates of new members. They've helped to improve the service quality for their members and increase their member experience, as well as make better data-driven decisions to support the 15-plus solutions that they're offering to their community. Some of the key accomplishments that SBC was able to realize after their implementation were the digitization. Jen and I were just having a conversation about words earlier. Digitization of their paper-based document management. They also were able to achieve full integration with their back-end systems to create a single user interface and keep their users from having to toggle back and forth between applications. They were also able to leverage artificial intelligence-powered dashboards and reports to have a better competitive position within the markets that they serve. They also were able to ensure smooth handoff between their front office and middle office processes, like from sales, marketing, and service to middle office applications like underwriting and claims. So some of the keys to success of the partnership between Creatio and Saskatchewan Blue Cross, and something that can be replicated by any organization in the midst of any transformational efforts. We're looking at, first of all, a top-down strategy, right? Having the buy-in from the executive team, as well as having that message driven down from the bottom up as well, to make sure that the entire organization is aligned. So really strong leadership, not only to drive the project, but also to drive the messaging behind the project as well. And it's also, very important to make sure that all parties are very excited about the project. And including choosing a partner that has the capability to implement and understand not only the market and the organization itself, but understand how to manage a project on a tight timeline to make sure that we're respectful of deadlines that the company is looking for, as well as being able to come in under budget. So the Creatio platform is a great choice for any organizations that are looking to transform the way that they do business. And we look at the key enablers. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I stepping on you, Nandish? Did I take over your slides?
Like every other time, Eric.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll turn it over to you. I apologize. I was on a roll.
That's okay. I think you're doing a fantastic job. So, it's interesting that it's been almost a year, more than a year, I think, since SBC became a customer. I still cannot say that name. I'm just going to say SBC.
Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan. That is interesting. Anyways, as Eric indicated, there is the business process angle. There's a CRM process angle for SBC. But I think what was a key differentiator that Creatio brought in was enabling the low-code platform for both CRM and BPM. And I think that was a key reason why the implementation could happen within less than 6 months. And we are seeing that over and over and over again. But more importantly, we need to legitimize that technology in first place, right? So we don't have to look any further than two of those leading market research firms, both Gartner and Forrester. So Eric and I have been in multiple sales calls in the past year and a half. A lot of people are transitioning over to low-code technology, and this is and we are seeing this. And I can substantiate this by saying that 65% of the low-code application is going to go low-code from high-code. So that means there is democratization of software development skills, as Scott is indicating. But more importantly, the speed in which it's happening is also significant. Forrester is saying about 5 to 10 times of the development is happening in the low-code side. And I can vouch for that because I was Eric and I, just before COVID hit, we were in Toronto working for a very well-renowned consulting firm, and they were trying to exit out of a legacy application. And guess what? The application they were looking to replace, that legacy application, they were looking at low-code because they wanted the business owners to take control of that and also to deploy those solutions as quickly as possible. Now that we have legitimized low-code development, it's also important to understand where does it actually fit in, right? So when you look at it from on the left-hand side of the graph, we kind of divide that into X and Y axis. On the X axis, obviously, it is the total cost of ownership. And on the Y-axis is the niche area, meaning is it something very specific usage or it's broad-based usage? Now, if it is a broad-based usage and you also are interested in a cost of ownership, then you should definitely look at packaged applications like Creatio for marketing automation, sales automation, because you're trying to do a lot more and not necessarily a specific thing. So you definitely need packaged applications, preferably for a cloud solution. On the other hand, when the use case is very niche, but you don't really care about total cost of ownership, a good example of that would be, say, timesheets, right? In enterprise applications, IT develops a timesheet for everybody to submit their time every week or so. You do it once, you forget it for like 15 years, you don't really care much about upkeep of that. That's where custom development comes in. But on the next side, where low-code development is basically anytime you're going after a very niche area, but also you care about total cost of ownership. In such a case, going after a packaged application could be cost prohibitive, but at the same time, you also want upkeep to be much, much lower. The idea here is that you want to give power to the business owners who can then start building applications the way they can, and that decreases the total cost of ownership and enables technology to change faster and also reduce cycles. Now, that is all good, but does that have a direct impact on the business, right? There needs to be a net positive impact on the business itself. And the idea is, yes, Creatio strongly believes in the accelerator phenomenon, right? We talked about accelerating, and you can see that on the bottom right-hand side, this is our punchline, and we displayed that with SBC as well. How quickly can you develop something and deploy that very quickly into production? Cost is equally important. When you're a CEO or a CFO, that is absolutely important. But also from a CMO perspective or a chief sales officer, customer-facing processes matter. When you're in customer-facing, whether it's marketing, sales, or customer service, that matters, right? And ultimately, it's all about making your employees more empowered and also making them more efficient. But also, when you start, not doing low code, but being a much more custom development, there's a lot of these shadow IT team, basically a bunch of developers coming together and building applications that a particular team uses. So there is a lot of this shadow IT that develops in a big enterprise companies, and you can get rid of that using low code platform as well. Now, what we mean by democratization very quickly is this again goes back to the Forrester, Gartner research is about 65% of the development work is to make things more efficient. 27% is about keeping customer in mind, and that is a good example because who keeps customers in mind? It's really the customer service department. It is really the marketing department. It's really the sales department. Those revenue generating departments are the ones that are looking. So companies that are more customer obsessed, like Apple's and Amazon's, that can develop applications and deploy that rapidly, are actually going to see a net positive impact. Whether that constraints come from budget or shadow IT or paper processes, automating, getting rid of paper processes, automating complex processes, all of that is wonderful. Now, one last slide before I transition over to Eric is where can you potentially use low code, right? And this spans pretty much across the different lines of businesses. I've used low code with sales when we are talking about lead nurturing. We talked about human capital in terms of recruiting new candidates. We had talked about IT from a project management perspective, finance and legal from a contract lifecycle management, from document management, marketing from lead management. So there is a whole bunch of use cases that you can use low code to continue to make improvements in the business processes. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to Eric.
No, perfect, Nandish. Thank you very much. So yeah, and I hope that gives like a good overview of how Creatio has been able to help specifically Saskatchewan Blue Cross. But we also, want to, demonstrate why we believe that our platform is a great way to help any organization going through a digital transformation cycle. And, I normally don't like marketing taglines, but this tagline actually is a great fit, right? We create a world where anyone can automate business ideas in minutes through low-code technology. And, that's why it is our low-code platform that is at the heart of our product set. And really, it is the combination of low-code, process management, and CRM on a single platform that differentiates Creatio from our competitors. What you're seeing on the screen right now is just a snapshot overview of our platform itself. And as you can see, at the foundation of that platform is our Studio Creatio. And these are those low-code design tools that will enable not just developers or somebody with coding skills to create custom processes, applications, and workflows, but because it's low-code, we make everyone a developer. We enable citizen development on the platform where you're utilizing low-code, drag-and-drop, if-and-then conditions to create those processes, applications, and workflows. So you don't need any, coding skills or developing skills. As long as you have a good understanding of what you're trying to accomplish, you can do that very easily in Studio Creatio. On top of that platform is where we've built our full-fledged comprehensive applications for sales, marketing, and service automation, as well as we have a Creatio marketplace that has hundreds of pre-built connectors, applications, templates that our customers can use to extend the core functionality of Creatio out into other aspects of their business. So we look at those three key pillars as our superpowers, right? This is what really helps our clients achieve results. It's our business process management engine that will enable you to align your people, processes, data, technology. We're able to bring that all together in best-in-class business processes. We talked about low-code and the ability to quickly create custom processes, workflows, applications, again, without needing heavy development skills. if we look at, again, some of those challenges with digital transformation, we look at lack of IT resources, lack of IT budget. This is really where low code can come in and help organizations achieve their goal. And then finally, we built best-in-class CRM applications on top of it, utilizing the same platform. So we have full-fledged CRM capabilities built directly into the platform. And it really is these combination of three technologies that makes Creatio different. And, it's not just me saying it, but, we've also, I had mentioned that we've been recognized by industry analysts at Gartner and Forrester, including being named as a leader in 2 Gartner Magic Quadrants, one for Salesforce automation and the other for CRM lead management. Very similarly with Forrester, we've been named to 7 Forrester Waves as a strong performer. And beyond just the analyst recognition, we also always receive very high user reviews from our user community. And we've also received a lot of industry awards that, confirm our approach to the marketplace is on target and what customers are looking for to help through their digital transformational efforts. And again, what it makes it all possible for our customers to create their own designs and their own applications is our Creatio Studio platform. We offer this in 2 different categories, including a freemium version where teams can go out, they can collaborate, they can utilize the Studio Free product to design and document processes and applications. And then we have our enterprise version where you can then take those processes and make them executable and bring those processes and applications to life. So Studio really is where you don't necessarily have to be a developer or a coder to design best-in-class business processes, applications, and workflows, but again, where we enable citizen development, making everyone a developer through low-code tools. So this is really, how we're enabling people to overcome those challenges within their digital transformation cycles. Low-code is a great way to help lower your total cost of ownership, as well as have the speed and agility to meet the demands of your business. And I think with that, we're going to be turning it back over to Nandish. There's just another quick reminder of our platform. And so let me just see here. So from this particular slide, we're looking at our findings. Creatio, this is coming directly from our friends at Saskatchewan Blue Cross. Some of the findings that they had there is, Creatio was chosen because we had a business process management engine. They also were able to take advantage. I had mentioned our marketplace of over 200 applications that are available. They were able to leverage our marketplace to extend the functionality of Creatio into other aspects of their business. And then also, they talked about the engagement itself with us, right? So our technical team, as well as our partner, remained heavily engaged in their process. We were always there for them to guide them through best practices, and then also, get them up and running on the timeline that they needed. We also, they chose us for our capabilities to have that AI-powered dashboards and reports to enhance the way that they utilize the system. So what would they have done differently? They would exploit low-code capabilities in the platform a little more, and then always pay attention to what's available on the marketplace, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can actually go out and repurpose, whether that's connectors, applications, or templates to create those applications. All right, and now I'm turning it over to Nandish. Nandish, I'll let you share your screen.
Thanks, Eric. Thank you so much. And let me know. Should be sharing my screen in just a second. Can you see my screen now? You should be seeing the marketplace application.
We got you.
Wonderful, wonderful. So Eric, and thanks so much for bringing it to the demonstration. So I'm going to spend maybe 4 minutes quickly running through what we have to offer. But since you left off with Marketplace, I thought it would be good to start with Marketplace, because that is one of the key things that SBC mentioned. So we have a lot of these low-code business processes that is available on the Marketplace, many of them for free, that you can download. These are pretty much industry standard processes that we have uncovered speaking to our own customers, citizen developers, and we enable them to, when they build something, we enable them to place it on our marketplace. So for example, if you're looking for employee onboarding or recruitment or termination of employment or whatever those business processes may be, all you have to do is to open that up. We're going to give you what that business process looks like, and you can simply download that. And most of them are available for free. So you can simply take that and use this as a basis for your initial business processes and continue to make enhancements that is tailored to your own organization. With that out of the way, let's spend about a couple of minutes on the Creatio platform itself. This was actually a proof of concept that Eric and I had built for one of a consulting, actually one of the major banks in the United States. The idea here was to, end of the year, everybody submits their budgets, IT in particular submits the budget, and that budget goes through due approval processes from their own management. It goes to financing department for all the approvals. Once the approvals are provided, or once the approvals are gone through, budgets have been approved, that is, then they want to start identifying and hiring candidates. So we built a very simple business processes for them to go through different workflows of what that candidate profile should look like. So you start with a new candidate, you do some recruiter interview. Once the recruiter then gives his or her thumbs up, then it goes to the team interview, then the background checks kicks off, then you make an offer, and once the offer has been accepted, you then complete it. Meanwhile, all of that information is being captured in here, like what is that candidate, which budget is that candidate applied for, what are the various interviews, and who is the employee, and things like that. Now, where we do excel is the ability to build this page in a low-code drag-and-drop functionality. So for that, we take advantage of Section Wizard. So when you open up that Section Wizard, we give you a blueprint of that page. So information like candidate information, attachment and notes, that has different information like job title, candidate, offered salary, is being reflected in the main page here, right? So this is basically job title, candidate, offered salary is being reflected right there. If you want to make quick changes to that, so if, for example, if you want to say add a created by or created on, simply drag and drop that and drop that, and that's how simple it is. And if you simply save this page, this new page will be reflected in the main page itself. But we also know that this is not the only data that you'll be adding. So depending upon as and when you bring in, want to make modifications, depending upon new data type, whether that be a date or a decimal or an integer or a string, you can simply drag and drop that in any place that you want. And then we pop up a new dialog box indicating how do you want to store that newly created data field in Creatio's database. That's how simple it is when it comes to low-code technology, when it comes to page layout. Now, the second thing that you notice in the candidate is the workflow, right? How does that business process go from new all the way to the completed stage? So for that, we talk about two kinds of business processes. One is the unstructured business process, and the second is a structured business process. What you're looking at right now is unstructured business process, and that is being reflected over here. We call that as dynamic case management. So you pretty much create different workflows. If you want to create something in between, just move your mouse over, you get a plus sign, and then you can add a new stage, simply double click on that, and you'll be able to pick different lookups in here. And then within each of these, then you'll be able to simply add a new task or modify the existing ones to say that when should you expect that that task to be completed by? Do you want to be notified? Do you want it to be reminded? Is it when should that be reminder be? Is this an optional, mandatory step? Things like that. In the meantime, as and when, if you don't want that, it's very easy. So this is again low-code technology, drag and drop, taking you step by step. So the idea here is that in the unstructured business process, you may want to do this you can do this, or you can do this first and then you can do that second. So you're giving a lot of flexibility to the end user, depending upon different situations, which task to do first and then second, or second and then first, or may not necessarily do that at all. So basically, you're giving that freedom to the end user. But there are structured business process, meaning when it goes to an offer letter stage, there is basically a workflow that needs to happen. In such a case, we take advantage of the sub-process, which is done through our studio platform, which Eric was talking about just before I kicked off my demo. And that is going to take you into the low-code studio platform, where pretty much you can define some user actions or system actions, as the case may be, and simply drag and drop whatever you want to do. So in this case, when it goes to the offer letter, the candidate will look at the offer, then they're either going to say yes, they're going to accept the offer, in which case we're going to onboard. If the candidate rejects the offer, we're obviously going to get rid of that candidate from our system. But if the candidate wants to negotiate that offer, then we go through this continuous loop between the candidate, the hiring manager, and discussing the offer until we get a yes or a no from the candidate. So those kinds of very simple conditional loops or loopbacks can be very easily created. Now, in the future, if you want to make any further modifications to this business process, maybe you want to send an email notification, all you have to select an element, drag and drop that in here. And then on the right-hand side, you get a dialog box to say that how you want to, what are the various parameters that are going to make this, how should that email be sent out, who should that be sent out to, and are you going to send this automatically or manually? So this is a very quick introduction of what Studio can enable you to do so. The only key thing in here is that this is a very structured process, meaning that we cannot do this until the previous one is complete. We cannot go there unless the previous one is complete. So depending upon your business process being structured or unstructured, we can facilitate both of them. And finally, we also want to show you the dashboards part. And the idea here is that whatever processes that you do, you have the ability to start displaying data in here. You can do some change the dashboards, all of that. Now, if you want to use a BI tools, we enable that through exporting the data as an Excel spreadsheet. Then you can have direct integrations. But otherwise, you can do pretty much all of those process management, identifying bottlenecks, and so on and so forth using Creatio. That I'm going to stop my demo and go right back to you, Eric.
Excellent. Great, Nandish. That was a perfect quick demonstration of the capabilities of the Creatio platform, and again, how our friends at Saskatchewan Blue Cross were able to get their processes implemented and up and running and producing value very quickly. So I think with that, we're going to turn it over to our Q&A section. And Jen, do we have any questions from the audience that we can answer, hopefully answer?
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, thanks, Eric and Nandish, for your presentation and for that quick demo. Yeah, we have a few questions in here, but in case you haven't already included your questions, please do send them through to the Q&A box, and I'll get them to Eric and Nandish now. Okay, so first question coming up. Can low-code solutions be used together with CRM, BPM, or RPA? And if so, how does that work?
Yeah, I'll start off the answer, and then I'll let Nandish tell you how it works. But yeah, so absolutely, low-code can work together with all of those technologies, and in fact, it really acts as that connective tissue between all of those technologies, right? We're trying to leverage the functionality within CRM, RPA, business process management. All of those are key components to helping organizations, streamline the way that they do business. Now, low-code, again, really acts as that connective tissue between all of those functionalities and helps to, combine the power of those technologies into a single application, a single interface that can help organizations leverage the benefits of all three. Now, Nandish, I'll let you tell everybody how it works.
Yes, I do that. So with CRM, it's pretty straightforward because Creatio is a CRM plus a BPM engine that is low-code enabled. So out of the box, we enable that integration, but we also talked about integrating Creatio's low-code platform with other CRMs, whether that be Microsoft's of the world or Microsoft Dynamics or Oracle Fusion or Salesforce CRM. doesn't matter. We can integrate through REST APIs, through web services. Those are typically the two key technologies, and we support both REST and SOAP right now with the latest version. So you'll be able to pull data in from those CRM, process, synthesize data, and push that data right back into those CRM applications. We've also done a pilot with UiPath for the RPA. I think it was early this year. So we have integrated with that technology as well. So seamlessly take advantage of best of breed from a CRM perspective, from RPA perspective, BPM. They're all open technologies. So open APIs are all available in all of them. So it's push and pull data as when needed.
Perfect.
Amazing. Thanks. I've got a question here from Johnson at Goyle. Who do I contact if I really want to have absolute knowledge on this, and where do I start from?
Yeah, great question. So, we do have, experts that can help you, guide you through the process on how to leverage the Creatio platform. If you come out to creatio.com, we have all kinds of resources. One particular area of our website that you might want to take a look at is our Creatio Academy. Creatio Academy really is an online repository of all information surrounding low-code, how you can leverage it, how to program it. We have videos, white papers, user guides, SDKs that are available out there. All of that is readily available to our community and can be leveraged by the public as well. So I would recommend checking that out and heading out there and taking a look at some of the material that's available.
Right. I would also add that there is free trial that is available on the website for a 14 days, so you can feel free to download that. Check it out. I would say, as Eric indicated, start with Academy. Just spend like maybe a day or so and then download the trial so that you're a little bit more educated. But worst case, there is also a chat bot. You just put your name and either Eric, me, or one of our peers will reach out to you to help out.
Amazing. Thank you. Okay, I've got another question here. Can low-code platforms improve employees' efficiency and productivity, and if so, how?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's a great question. So that's something that's always, kind of overlooked as well, right? We think about how low-code technologies can help, organizations as a whole. How can it make, a customer journey better? But the one thing that, sometimes organizations overlook is employee experience as well. So low-code tools really give the flexibility to create contextual workspaces that will only enable, those end users to see relevant content. You saw within Nandish's demonstration how we can quickly modify a user interface based on specific needs of that end user. So being able to leverage those the low-code technology and build those user interfaces so that way it makes it very intuitive, it makes it easy to navigate for the end user, and when they have the tools to work through, whether that's maybe a customer service request or how to manage an interaction with a customer, it can enable them to move through that interaction or that engagement a lot quicker because we're able to, configure that interface the way that, will be intuitive for them. Beyond that, you can utilize low-code technology to guide them through processes as well. So Nandish showed you how we can build processes, but we can also design workflows that will actually guide users to either the next best action or the next best offer based on that particular engagement. So it definitely increases the employee experience and productivity. Again, we go back to our friends at Saskatchewan Blue Cross who are utilizing those tools to manage their member journey and also enable their representatives to also have the tools necessary to quickly create better experiences as well. So they're leveraging that very well at Saskatchewan Blue Cross to help their employees become more productive.
Just to add a couple more on Eric's example, that the SPC was a great example. The other example, especially the one that I just demoed, is when it goes, when all of the budget, end of the year, like budgets are being sent to approval to the financing department. Now they have to approve, like, I don't know, like 25, 30 different budgets, go through the documentation. As Eric indicated, there is a very seamless way. We say that do this, do this, do this for the financing department to make sure that doing the due diligence on each of those budgets. And then from a budget approval perspective, we can also nicely lay it out in the queues so that they are not falling through. There is no falling through the cracks. Then also, if things are not being done by a particular predetermined time, then you can notify, send a reminder email, letting the original requester know that, hey, your request has not been progressed further, or even for the manager or for the person who has to approve those budgets, indicating that, hey, you have not approved anything in the last 2 days or so. Can you please go back and do things? So making things more efficient by taking care of little things is one of the key areas in which you can improve efficiency and make sure there is a frictionless experience in the enterprise organization.
Absolutely. Okay, we've just probably got enough time for one more question. Let's go with the question, do you think the COVID-19 crisis speeded up the implementation of low-code? And if so, which industries will be the most aggressive in adopting low-code, no-code technologies?
Yeah, great question. And absolutely, I think that it has accelerated the demand for low-code technologies. If you think about what the COVID-19 crisis has done, is it's really exposed broken processes within a lot of organizations. And they've had to find ways to quickly adapt and overcome these broken processes. So in my conversations with customers, there is a big move to looking for platforms that can rapidly develop applications. So we look at low-code as helping them accelerate that process to overcome their challenges. And I think from an industry perspective, if we look at anybody that is either very process-driven, so maybe in the financial service industries, right? We have everything from front office interactions with customers all the way to middle office applications for maybe it's loan approvals, underwriting. We're able to connect those processes very easily and make sure that it's seamless. And then also anybody that has a workforce that is now remote. How do we, develop applications for them to stay connected, for them to still provide the same level of service and the same level of experience? We need to rapidly develop applications based on, the ever-changing environments that most of us are working in today. So we do see that, low-code has been, been adopted very quickly because it helps them overcome these challenges. In terms of specific verticals that we're seeing a lot of adoption would be, again, financial services, manufacturing, retailers, anybody that has high process driven organizations and also high customer touch. They really need to find a way to remain effective within the way that they manage their organization and manage those interactions with their customers.
Amazing. Thank you so much. All right, then. Thanks, both of you, for attending, Eric and Nandish, and for delivering that presentation.